A lot of real estate agents are very nervous about the pending lawsuits against NAR and 4 of our largest brands. So I want to give you some strategies that are going to help you survive in a changing industry, no matter what happens. Baseline on these lawsuits is that they are trying to decouple the buyer and seller commissions and have the buyer pay the buyer commission and the seller pay the seller commission. They note that currently sellers paying the buying broker has required sellers to pay an inflated amount, which is in violation of federal antitrust law. The main argument is conspiracy, which centers around NAR's clear cooperation policy. That's the requirement to add a buyer agent compensation in the MLS. Right now, that is required in most of the country for any NAR affiliated MLS, which is a large percentage. So they're saying that the conspiracy has created for home sellers additional cost that would normally be paid by the buyer in a more competitive market. It also notes in every suit that this incentivizes agents. So for example, if one house is offering you 3 apples to come and see it, and another house is offering you 1 apple for compensation, then that you would choose the larger of the 2. So clearly an ethical no-no in any regard. It notes that this mandatory rule restrains competition because the buyer cannot actually negotiate or pay their own commission. And every suit also notes the competency of the buyer agent is not taken into consideration at all. So if me, a 20-year veteran agent, has a buyer versus somebody that's fresh out of real estate school, is there a difference in the competency and through the transaction? 100% yes. So that's the baseline of these lawsuits. And say what you want, but each lawsuit is very similar. You also have Remax and Anywhere that have both agreed to settle. Remax for $55 million and to change their business practices. Anywhere Real Estate, which is encompassing of numerous large brands, has agreed to settle for $83.5 million and to change their business practices. So what does this mean to you? In this particular lawsuit that's going to trial on October 16th, we have Keller Williams that has not come to the table with an agreement to settle, and we have NAR that has not come to the table with an agreement to settle. If they go to trial and lose, because this is class action, they have the opportunity for treble damages, which is triple the damages, which is $40 billion. Who's gonna pay that? You and me. That's who's gonna pay that. So here's what I think that we can all do no matter what happens. We all need to be able to express our value at a very high level, not only as a buyer's agent, but a listing agent. What could potentially happen from this? Buyers are going to go straight to the listing agent. It's currently a race to the bottom in our industry, so you're going to see people saying, I'll do it for $500. Let me walk you through the buyer transaction for $500. Maybe you'll see flat fee people. There's going to be all kinds of different opportunities. Yes, lending is a question. Yes, if they can't afford it. What about VA? I'm happy to talk to you about all those kinds of things. But what I want you to focus on right now is being able to express your value as a buyer's agent. You need to do a buyer consultation and have it tight. You need to have a buyer presentation. Here's mine, and it is extremely detailed, going through A to Z, not only in the process of the purchase, but here's what I bring to the table. You can Google what do buyer's agents do? There's a list from NAR that's like 150. There's a list, if you Google it, that's 184. Every single thing that buyer's agents do. And our company at Next Home, we have provided buyer consultation and buyer presentations for the agents in our industry and our brand. And it has 7 pages of what agents do for their buyers. In addition, we're training on buyer consultation. So getting that person in front of you and explaining your value, and then really having them sign a buyer's agency and understand what they're paying in commission. Here's an example. When you go into a listing, you do not leave that listing without really wanting them to sign the listing agreement, and you understand exactly what they're going to pay you and they understand exactly what you're going to do for that compensation. Your buyer consultation needs to be exactly the same way. So if you have any questions, my name is Jamie Downey. I'm a coach in the Charlotte, North Carolina area, but I coach nationwide. I'm a broker owner with Next Home, and I'm happy to answer any questions for you on this because we are all in this together, industry-wide, nationwide, and we are all better together. Appreciate your time.